Kicking off the list at number 1 is Hitman World of Assassination, the definitive package that brings together everything from the modern trilogy into one massive and endlessly replayable assassination sandbox. Agent 47 operates across beautifully constructed open levels spanning locations like Paris, Sapienza, Miami, and Dubai, each packed with layered opportunities and creative kill methods that reward exploration and experimentation. The gameplay loop of infiltrating complex environments, identifying targets, and engineering the perfect silent kill never loses its appeal across dozens of hours of play. Escalation contracts, elusive targets, and community-created missions extend the content far beyond the main campaign. On PlayStation, the game runs smoothly with sharp visuals and fast loading that make jumping between locations seamless. The sheer density of content and the freedom offered in each mission make this the gold standard for stealth assassination games on any platform available today. Coming in strong at number 2, Hitman 3 serves as the climactic chapter of the World of Assassination trilogy and delivers some of the most brilliantly designed levels in the entire franchise history. The Dartmoor mission alone, which plays out like a murder mystery set in a gothic English mansion, stands as one of the most creative and memorable gaming experiences in the stealth genre. Agent 47 feels fully realized as a character here, with the narrative pushing towards genuine emotional resolution for longtime series fans. Each level introduces a unique environmental concept that keeps the location design feeling fresh from start to finish throughout the campaign. PlayStation 5 performance is exceptional, with refined visuals and DualSense integration adding subtle haptic feedback to weapon handling and environmental interactions. Replay value is enormous, given the multiple challenge layers built into each mission, a near-perfect conclusion to one of gaming's best trilogies. Number 3 on our list is Hitman 2, the middle chapter of the trilogy that introduced many of the mechanics perfected in its successor, while standing confidently as a strong game on its own terms. New locations, including the lush Miami race circuit and the dense Mumbai slum networks, brought tremendous environmental variety to the formula. The Mumbai level, in particular, is celebrated as one of the most ambitious stealth sandboxes ever designed, featuring 3 separate primary targets that players must locate and eliminate across a sprawling interconnected map. Crowd blending mechanics debuted here, adding new tactical depth to infiltration and pursuit evasion scenarios. Multiplayer Ghost Mode allowed 2 players to compete on the same level simultaneously, a creative competitive addition that separated this entry from genre conventions. The PlayStation version performs well, and the sheer breadth of mission content makes it worth playing even after completing the trilogy package as a standalone experience. Hitman 2016 claims the 4th position as the reboot that successfully reinvented the franchise after years of dormancy and delivered a fresh assassination sandbox format that defined the series going forward. The episodic release structure introduced levels one at a time, building anticipation and allowing each location to be deeply explored before the next arrived. Paris and Sapienza remain fan-favorite levels that are consistently cited among the greatest stealth game missions ever designed in the entire genre. The game established the core mechanics of disguise systems, environmental hazards, opportunity tracking, and challenge layering that would define the trilogy. On PlayStation, it runs cleanly, and the visual presentation of each location captures distinct cultural atmospheres with genuine care and detail. For players who want to understand how the modern Hitman formula was born, this is the essential starting point that holds up beautifully even today. Aragami 2 arrives at number 5 as one of the strongest pure stealth games available on PlayStation that draws clear inspiration from Hitman's approach to sandbox mission design. You play as an Aragami warrior, using shadow manipulation abilities to move invisibly through environments and eliminate targets with lethal precision. The level design opens up considerably compared to the first game, with larger mission areas offering multiple approach paths and assassination methods. A robust skill tree allows meaningful customization of your playstyle, whether you prefer pure ghost stealth or a more aggressive shadow assassin approach. 3-player cooperative multiplayer adds significant replay value and transforms how missions play out with coordinated group strategy. The art style is clean and atmospheric, delivering a visually distinct experience that stands apart from Western stealth competitors. For fans of the Hitman formula who want a supernatural twist on familiar mechanics, this is an excellent and often overlooked recommendation. Deathloop
Deathloop takes position 6 as a wildly creative first-person stealth and assassination game built around a time loop concept that gives the genre a genuinely original structural foundation. You play as Colt, an assassin trapped on an island repeating the same day, who must eliminate 8 targets before midnight to break the cycle permanently. Each run through the loop builds knowledge about target locations, schedules, and vulnerabilities that feeds into increasingly efficient and creative elimination strategies. The level design is dense with secrets, and the game rewards lateral thinking and experimentation over linear mission completion. An opposing player can invade your loop as a rival assassin, creating unpredictable human-controlled obstacles to your plans. On PlayStation 5, the DualSense adaptive triggers are deeply integrated with each weapon having distinct physical feedback. Deathloop is one of the most original takes on assassination game design released in recent years, and absolutely belongs on this list.
Ghostrunner 2 lands at number 7, bringing a radically different energy to this list with its ultra-fast cyberpunk action that still carries meaningful stealth elements within its aggressive combat framework. You are a cybernetic ninja moving through a dystopian tower city using wall running, grappling, and one-hit kill sword strikes to eliminate enemies with precision and speed. The level design rewards memorization and route optimization in ways that feel spiritually connected to the assassination puzzle mindset of traditional stealth games. New motorcycle levels add exciting variety to the established movement formula without breaking the game's rhythmic flow. The skill tree expands your movement and combat vocabulary significantly over the course of the campaign. On PlayStation 5, the performance is rock solid, with frame rate staying consistently high during the most chaotic sequences. While it plays differently than a traditional Hitman game, the underlying philosophy of reading environments and executing clean eliminations connects it meaningfully to the genre. Mark of the Ninja Remaster claims number 8 as a celebrated two-dimensional stealth game that distills assassination mechanics to their purest and elegant form within a side-scrolling framework. Every sound and shadow is visualized on screen, making the stealth systems immediately readable and deeply satisfying to master. You play as a nameless ninja, navigating enemy-filled environments using darkness, distractions, and lethal precision to eliminate targets without raising alarm. The level design consistently introduces new mechanical wrinkles that keep the experience feeling fresh across the full campaign length. Remastered visuals are clean, and the hand-drawn art style gives the game a timeless quality that holds up perfectly on a modern television. Different challenge modes and costume options extend replay value beyond the primary story completion. For players who love the core loop of stealth and assassination distilled into clean game feel, this remains one of the genre's finest examples available on PlayStation. Dishonored 2 takes the 10th spot as one of the finest immersive stealth games ever made, with mission design that directly competes with the best of the Hitman franchise in terms of creative freedom and environmental density. You choose between Corvo Atano and Emily Caldwin, each with distinct supernatural ability sets that transform how you approach target elimination and environmental traversal. The Clockwork Mansion and Dust District levels are landmark achievements in level design that reward thorough exploration and creative problem solving. A ghost run attempting to complete missions without killing or alerting anyone adds tremendous replay value and requires deep understanding of all available systems. On PlayStation, the game runs smoothly, and the period-influenced art direction remains visually striking and atmospheric throughout every chapter. The non-lethal options are as creative as the lethal ones, making this a game that genuinely respects player choice at every level of engagement.
Sekiro Shadows Die Twice earns position 11 as a From Software action title that places you in feudal Japan as a shinobi with a primary mission to protect and rescue your lord using stealth, precision, and lethal blade work. While combat is more aggressive than traditional stealth games, the stealth approach remains viable and deeply satisfying when executed correctly across the open mission structure. Death blow executions reward patient positioning and environmental awareness in ways that feel spiritually aligned with the assassination game philosophy. The posture system creates a unique combat language that rewards reading opponents and striking at precise moments rather than aggressive button input. On PlayStation, the game performs excellently, and the responsive controls make the demanding combat mechanics feel fair and learnable. Boss encounters are among the most celebrated in gaming history, requiring genuine mastery of the game's systems. For players who want assassination gameplay wrapped in demanding and rewarding action, this is an essential PlayStation experience.
Assassin's Creed Mirage arrives at 12 as a deliberate return to the franchise's stealth and assassination roots, after years of open-world RPG expansion shifted the series away from its original identity. Baghdad is a beautifully realized open city, filled with assassin bureau contracts, targets to profile and eliminate, and environmental puzzles that reward careful observation. Protagonist, Basim, operates as a traditional hidden blade assassin, with a toolkit focused on evasion, distraction, and lethal precision rather than brute combat strength. The contract mission structure directly echoes the format of older Assassin's Creed entries, with intelligence gathering phases preceding each assassination. Parkour movement is refined and fluid, making navigation of Baghdad's dense architecture genuinely satisfying during pursuit and escape sequences. On PlayStation 5, the visual quality of the city environment is impressive, with strong lighting work bringing the Islamic Golden Age setting to vivid life, a focused and well-executed return to form for the series.
Splinter Cell Blacklist takes the 13th position as one of the most mechanically complete stealth action games available, and a title that still represents the peak of the Splinter Cell franchise's design ambitions. Sam Fisher returns with a full arsenal of stealth gadgets and lethal options deployable across a campaign that spans multiple international locations. The Perfectionist difficulty mode strips away all action game leniency and demands pure ghost stealth execution from mission start to finish. Cooperative Spies vs. Mercenaries multiplayer remains one of the most tense and asymmetrical competitive experiences in gaming history. The base customization system allows upgrading equipment, and the Paladin aircraft hub between missions gives structure to the campaign progression. On PlayStation, the game performs well, and the controls translate cleanly to the DualShock layout. Blacklist demonstrated that Splinter Cell at its best rivals any stealth franchise in terms of depth and mechanical sophistication, an essential inclusion for fans of the genre.
Thief lands at 14 as a first-person stealth game set in a Victorian Gothic city, where protagonist Garrett navigates guard-patrolled environments using shadow, sound manipulation, and precise movement to steal valuables and complete missions without combat. The light and shadow system is foundational to gameplay, with Garrett becoming invisible in darkness and detectable in even partial illumination, depending on guard sightlines and movement behavior. Environmental storytelling in the City Hub area rewards exploration with rich world building that flesh out the game's atmosphere significantly. Gadget variety, including rope arrows, water arrows for extinguishing torches, and gas arrows for incapacitating guards, provides a satisfying toolkit for creative stealth approaches. Challenge modes and mission ratings encourage repeated playthroughs, targeting higher performance thresholds. On PlayStation, the game presents well, and the atmospheric sound design is particularly effective through the DualShock speaker. A thoughtful and atmospheric stealth experience worth revisiting on modern PlayStation hardware.
Styx Master of Shadows claims number 15 as a goblin assassin game that focuses entirely on pure stealth with no combat safety net, demanding that players plan every movement and elimination carefully throughout its challenging levels. You play as Styx, a sharp-tongued goblin with unique abilities, including cloning, amber vision for seeing through walls, and acid production for environmental traps. The mission design places you in large, multi-tiered environments filled with heavily armored guards that will kill Styx in seconds if detected, making stealth discipline essential at all times. The tone is surprisingly mature and irreverent, with Styx himself being an entertaining and darkly humorous protagonist throughout the narrative. Level design rewards thorough exploration and understanding of patrol patterns before committing to any movement or elimination. The game is unforgiving and deliberate in ways that will frustrate casual players, but deeply satisfy those who enjoy the precision stealth challenge, an underrated gem for serious stealth fans on PlayStation platforms. Alien Isolation arrives at 16 as a survival horror stealth game that translates the tension of the original Alien film into one of the most genuinely frightening and mechanically sophisticated stealth experiences on any PlayStation platform. You play as Amanda Ripley, navigating a decaying space station while evading a single perfect predator that cannot be killed and must be managed through sound, motion tracker use, and careful environmental routing. The alien's behavior is genuinely extremely unpredictable, with an advanced AI that learns and adapts to your patterns over the course of extended play sessions. Crafting flares, noisemakers, and other tools gives you limited options for redirecting the creature while you accomplish mission objectives across the station's sprawling, interconnected areas. The visual recreation of the alien aesthetic is extraordinary, with the station environment feeling authentically constructed from the film's design language. On PlayStation, the atmospheric audio design is best experienced with headphones, a masterclass in sustained tension and reactive stealth design.
Deus Ex: Mankind Divided takes the 17th spot as a cyberpunk immersive sim that allows players to approach every mission, every encounter, and every objective through a pure stealth and non-lethal philosophy built into the core design. Adam Jensen moves through Prague and various mission locations using augmentations that support invisibility, hacking, and silent takedowns across richly layered environments. The depth of choice in approach is extraordinary, with missions frequently solvable through multiple entirely distinct methods, depending on your augmentation investment and creative thinking. Side missions and hub exploration reward players who invest time in understanding the world beyond the primary objective structure. Narrative quality is strong, with cyberpunk themes explored with genuine intelligence throughout the campaign. On PlayStation, the game runs well, and the visual design of the future Prague setting remains one of the most cohesive and immersive urban environments in the genre, essential for fans of thinking person stealth game design and complex mission structures.
Observer System Redux arrives at 18 as a psychological detective game set in a dystopian Polish apartment block where you inhabit dying minds to investigate a series of murders using stealth-adjacent investigation mechanics. While not a traditional assassination game, the core loop of infiltrating consciousness, gathering evidence, and navigating hostile memory fragments shares meaningful DNA with the genre's emphasis on reading environments and planning methodical approaches. The upgraded visuals on PlayStation 5 are genuinely impressive, bringing the neon-soaked brutalist setting to detailed life with strong ray tracing implementation. Daniel Lazarski is a compelling protagonist, and Rutger Hauer's voice performance gives the character real weight and melancholy. The horror segments within Infected Minds are tense and effectively unsettling, without relying on cheap jump scares. New content added in the Redux version extends the runtime and deepens the world building considerably. For players who enjoy atmospheric stealth-adjacent experiences with strong narrative, this is a memorable and distinctive PlayStation title worth experiencing. The Forgotten City claims position 19 as a time loop mystery game set in a buried Roman city where every citizen lives under the golden rule. If one person sins, the entire population turns to gold. You must navigate the city's social fabric, gathering information, manipulating situations, and using knowledge carried between loops to prevent catastrophe and eventually escape. The investigative loop structure mirrors the knowledge accumulation philosophy of Assassination sandbox games in deeply satisfying ways, with each run revealing new information that unlocks previously impossible solutions. Writing quality is exceptional, with every NPC having distinct personality, motivations, and conversational depth that rewards thorough dialogue exploration. The tone balances philosophical depth with genuine humor across the variety of characters and situations encountered throughout the loops. On PlayStation, the game runs cleanly, and the historical setting is realized with evident care and research, a hidden gem that deserves far wider recognition among fans of smart, design-forward games.
A Plague Tale Requiem lands at 20 as a stunning narrative action-adventure with strong stealth mechanics built around protagonist Amicia Darun guiding her brother through a world devastated by rat swarms and Inquisition soldiers. Stealth sequences require careful management of light sources and rat behavior to route safely through enemy-occupied environments without triggering the overwhelming swarms. Enemy encounters can be resolved through distraction, environmental manipulation, and precise sling attacks that reward patient positioning and tactical thinking. The visual presentation on PlayStation 5 is extraordinary, with the Plague Tale engine producing some of the most detailed and atmospheric environments available on the platform. The emotional narrative core drives genuine investment in the characters throughout an often brutal and harrowing story. alchemical tool crafting expands your options for handling both human and rat-based threats in increasingly creative ways as the campaign progresses. A beautiful and emotionally resonant stealth-adjacent experience worth playing from start to finish.
Sifu arrives at 21 as a precision kung fu action game that incorporates meaningful stealth options and assassination-style target prioritization within its exceptionally crafted combat system. You pursue a list of 5 targets responsible for your family's murder, navigating their environments, and ultimately facing each in direct confrontation across visually distinct locations. Stealth approaches allow bypassing groups of enemies and reaching targets more efficiently, rewarding players who learn environmental layouts through repeated attempts. The aging mechanic that advances your character's age upon each death creates urgency and meaningful consequence that keeps every encounter feeling significant. Mastering the Kung Fu combat system requires genuine skill development, with enemy patterns needing to be read and countered rather than brute-forced. On PlayStation 5, the DualSense haptic feedback is well utilized during combat exchanges, and the game performs flawlessly. An exceptionally designed and deeply satisfying action game with strong thematic and mechanical connections to the assassination genre. Judgment takes the 22nd spot as a detective action game set in Kamurocho, where former lawyer Takayuki Yagami investigates crimes using stealth, surveillance, tailing mechanics, and social infiltration, alongside more direct confrontational gameplay. Tailing suspects through crowded streets while maintaining cover distance and avoiding detection is a recurring mechanic that feels genuinely tense and satisfying when executed cleanly. The investigation structure requires gathering evidence through careful environmental observation and witness interrogation before cases can be resolved. Side cases are numerous and varied, providing significant additional content beyond the main criminal investigation. Combat is dynamic and entertaining, with 2 distinct fighting styles that can be switched during encounters against multiple opponents. On PlayStation, the game presents beautifully, with Kamurocho rendered in extraordinary detail that rewards exploration at every street level. The narrative quality is among the highest in the action-adventure genre, with mature themes handled with genuine craft and intelligence throughout.
Yakuza Like a Dragon Ishin lands at 23 as a historical entry in the Ryuga Gotoku series set in Bakumatsu-era Japan, following the story of Sakamoto Ryoma navigating political conspiracies, samurai conflicts, and criminal underworld entanglements in Kyo. Stealth elements appear in specific mission types, requiring infiltration and observation without detection, adding tactical variety to the predominantly action-focused gameplay. The historical setting is richly realized, with period-accurate architecture and cultural detail filling out the open-world environments. Sub-stories and side content are extraordinarily plentiful, with the signature series humor intact despite the serious historical backdrop. Combat blends swordsmanship with gunplay and brawling techniques depending on the equipped fighting style. On PlayStation 5, the visual quality is strong, with detailed character models and atmospheric period lighting contributing to deep immersion. The narrative depth and world-building quality make this one of the most rewarding historical action games available on PlayStation platforms for players who invest time in its systems.
Trek to Yomi arrives at 24 as a cinematic black-and-white samurai game inspired by classic Japanese cinema that follows a young swordsman's journey through death and the afterlife to protect his village from a criminal lord. The game incorporates stealth-adjacent approach options and environmental observation that reward patient players before engaging in the precise and lethal sword combat. Visual presentation is the game's most immediate and striking quality, with a stunning monochrome art direction that feels genuinely cinematic in its framing and composition at every stage. The sound design complements the visual style, with authentic period music and environmental audio creating complete atmospheric immersion. Combat is deliberate and timing dependent, with parries and counters requiring careful attention to enemy attack telegraphs. On PlayStation, the game runs smoothly and remains one of the most visually distinctive experiences available on the platform. At a modest price point, it offers a focused and memorable journey that leaves a lasting impression through its artistry and narrative simplicity combined.
Want It Dead closes the list at 25 as a stylish action game that blends intense combat with deliberate mission infiltration in a near-future Hong Kong setting that channels the energy of classic action cinema.
You play as Lieutenant Hannah Stone, leading a special police unit through missions that reward methodical approach and target prioritization alongside spectacular direct combat. The game wears its influences proudly, with obvious love for the stylized action of the late PlayStation 2 era, filtered through modern visual presentation. Difficulty is substantial, and missions encourage replay and refinement of approach to handle enemy encounters more efficiently with each attempt. The narrative has genuine character, with a strong cast of main characters and moments of unexpected humor and heart between action sequences. On PlayStation, the game runs at consistent performance levels, and the combat system has satisfying depth for players willing to invest time in mastering its mechanics. A spirited and entertaining closer to a strong list of Hitman-adjacent experiences on PlayStation.